Hey guys, it's Kelvin from Kelvin Downunder, and this is one of the latest display from a new company called TITA, and it's slowly holding up to be one of my favorite displays for the car. On paper, it's a little bit confusing. It's part display, part phone holder, but there's so much to it. Now, before I get into it, quick disclosure, this is a display provided to us by Tesery for review purpose. However, they're not paying me to make this video or to use this display, and they're not going to get a chance to review any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys see this on this video. I've been looking for something to replace my LCD screen lately, and I came across something fairly interesting from Tesery. This is their TITA range. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Essentially, what I've got is a bundle of things. One, I've got a mobile phone holder that mounts into your steering column. But what I'm most interested in, since I only use it for speedo generally, is this little cookie dashboard. It's like a little LCD display that you can just place on top of your mobile charger, and it displays your speed. Out of the box, I've got this cookie little dashboard and also a phone charger. I also have a little tool bag, a bit of a pry tool, and some gloves. That's a very, very nice touch. And then let's have a look at this box here. It's a little bit stuck together. I thought this is stuck together. That's because this is very heavily magnetized, and there's clearly a piece of metal in this little envelope. So let's have a look at this first. And a bit of an O-ring for your phone. And I'm guessing this will be a MagSafe equivalent type of O-ring that just sticks onto, that just sticks onto the mount. And it's also got an extra 3M tape as well. Then you've got the actual charger or the phone mount itself. It looks quite nice. Looks like a very simple install. This is just a phone mount, MagSafe. You can see the coils. It gets stuck onto your steering column. And this is a USB-C that you can mount into any of the USB-C plugs. Last but not least, let's have a look at this cookie. I've got to say, all the package is very nice, and it feels solid too. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. It requires a little bit of a yank. Displays here. You have this display there. Instructions. And that's it. Literally a display that you can stick onto the mount. Very thin USB-C. This is where all the installation cables are. So this goes into the OBD port. This is actually a Bluetooth receiver, and it will speak to the little cookie tablet directly. So there's not even a single cable that needs to be wired onto the dashboard itself. I actually think this is probably one of the easiest install for speedos I've ever seen. So let's see. Let's put it on. The installation is super straightforward. The phone mount itself, we'll just stick it on top of that, and then you can hide the cable however you want. As for the actual little cookie tablet, the only two panels when we take off, it's this little panel here, and then that panel here. And just to make life a little bit easier, we'll also take off this weather trim as well, just so we can pull these panels off easier. And finally, we will be peeling back this particular felt lining backwards a little bit, because that's where the little OBD port is. But that's it. There's no cables that will need to be wired all the way to here, because everything's done via Bluetooth, which is wonderful. And I would say this is looking more and more like one of the easiest install for dashboards I've ever seen. First, let's take off this weather trim. You don't need to take the whole thing off. You can just leave it halfway like that. And before you pop this panel out, sometimes it's easier to pop this one out as well. Just a pry tool. There's 3 clips here, and you can just pop it out. 3 clips. And then with the pry tool they've supplied, you can just pop this off. Just 1 clip, and you pull it upwards. Once you pop it out, and then you pull it upwards. Because this thing sticks down, if you try to yank it out, it might break it. Just put it here. And then you use the end to just undo this little clip. And then you can use this little end, it's just a little push pin. Little push pin, make sure everything's set aside properly. And then you can just pull this off. It's just multiple clips along the side of it. Just a number of clips. Very easy. Get the set of cables ready. And then you can use the tool provided to just undo this small clip. Make sure you keep the pins aside. Once you undone this little clip, the OBD cable is exposed. We'll be plugging into that blue cable there, and also the other side we'll be putting into this bypass. It's pretty hard to operate these things one-handed, and I need to hold the camera as well. But make sure your direction's correct and it'll be fairly easy to push it in. In. And we should feel a click when it's in properly. Yeah, it's clicked in. Fairly safe and secure. And then now we'll do the bypass cable, which goes in here. There's a little lever that you can punch on, and then you slowly pull it out. So it's out. Put this in. These things are only one directional, so you'll never get it wrong. But do be gentle, you don't want to break any pins. And then that's it, the bypass is installed. And now it's a matter of hiding everything back and putting things back together. But before I close everything off, what I usually do is just to do a quick test to make sure everything does work. For now, basically the whole installation's already done. Now we can technically put things back together, but let's give it a test first. Now my philosophy has always been measure twice, cut once. Meaning, you know, test before you put everything back together. What I've done is I've plugged the USB-C cable into the passenger side at the back. I know I've just tested it, it charges my phone already, so at least I know this works. But now let me try put this plug on and see what happens. Turns it on. It displays my speed and everything. And if I change gears, P, I guess it works. Trunk open, indicate. The other side. Put it back on P. Looks like it works perfectly. Awesome. So now I can put things back together and, you know, install this properly. A little bit of a mess here. All right, time to put things back together. First thing first, you want to tuck these things properly and then just clip the cables. And you want to put all the cables nicely so that it doesn't rattle. Just a clip, push it in, it's just a push pin, that's done. And then it's this piece. Again, you want to align everything nicely and then just pop the pins back on. You can see the hole will align itself already. And just push the pins back on. That's it. It's already done. That was it, just a few clips. And then it's this push pin. Align it to the hole, push it in. That's secured. This panel, push it in from top to bottom, and then it's just a clip. Sort of align it properly first. And then it's the final panel, just a clip as well. And that's all done. And then it's a weather trim. The weather trim is very easy. That's why I don't take the entire thing off, because I didn't want to align the whole thing again. But now you just trace it back and put the weather trim back on. This is done. The full installation's already done. And now let's find a nice place to mount this. Yeah, this will be pretty cool actually. I'm just going to use some rubbing alcohol to clean this area. Just a little bit. It will dry off very quickly. Very dirty actually. Sort of glad I'm cleaning this, I guess. Had the car for 2 years. About time for a quick clean, I guess. Now let's find a good spot. I'm gonna take the puck off first. which turns itself off straight away. So I can get a phone to align this. I quite like it. This is actually a pretty good spot. Again, this is a pretty good spot. So the key is not to mount it too high up, because if I mount it very high up, then my phone is blocked. Okay, that's it. It's gonna be around here. What I did find is that because of the curvature, there's only about a very small sweet spot for you to be fully in full contact. Okay, it's fully flat. So you kind of just, in a way, only got 1 or 2 spots anyways because of the curve. Here goes nothing. That's it, I'm committed. That said, it's just a free end tape and they do supply a couple, so I can always just take it off and just swap it somewhere else. Final test again to make sure I didn't make the biggest mistake ever. Yeah, it's a good spot. Let's see if this is a good spot for this as well. I like it. Doesn't block any aircon as well, it's certainly a plus. Now let's hide the cables. And I just saw the cutest Easter egg. Look at the USB plug, it looks like a Tesla. Definitely a nice touch. Now ordinarily speaking, I will hide the cable through behind the console and tuck it into this area, or maybe through the other side even, tuck it into this area and then plug it into the back instead, into these USB plugs. But because I've got kids and they've actually kicked this area so many times and have broken many of my cables, I will however plug the cable into here instead, which is not ideal. For you guys, I would say definitely keep the cable at the back instead. Just to make things more aesthetically pleasing, it just looks prettier if you keep it at the back. A very special moment. Let's peel this. Oh, actually, there's another one at the back as well. Probably should put that one first. Let's peel this. Ooh. You can see it doesn't block any of the air vents. In the right position for me as a driver. Put it into gear. Tells you what gear you're on. I think I can close the trunk and let's have a look. Okay, that's closed and knows that the door's opened. So if my brakes are on, a red light comes on. Go in gear, it goes in speed straight away. Reverse, neutral, park, hazard lights, left, right. I don't think flash. Oh, flashed. When I click on the flash button, it does something too, which is great. Let's do a quick drive around the area and see. It looks pretty accurate. Now it is Bluetooth, so it might have a very slight microsecond of a delay. If you look hard enough, you will notice it. But otherwise, if you're just driving, chances are you won't notice there's a delay at all. And like I said, whenever you don't like it, you can always just change it up and pull the plug aside and make it a phone instead. Indicate. Works very well. It actually shows you that you're on auto hold. So let me take this puck away. And now I can have Waze in front of me as well, which is great. I mean, for the camera, the phone looks a little bit low, but it is the right driving position for myself. With the right level of information I actually wanted from my mini display. I am very, very impressed. I actually really like this little puck. If the puck is something you're interested in, do check it out. It's part of their TITA range. I'm very impressed. It's one of the, you know, I like a minimal display. That's why I've never installed one myself, but I'm very happy with this one, especially since I can take it off and make it a phone mount instead as well, which works well with Waze, with a display in front of me. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's Kelvin from Kelvin Downunder, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh hey, it's Kelvin from a month later, and by now I've been on a few road trips with the puck. I really enjoy it, really like it. If you accelerate and decelerate regen, there's a little green bar that tells you what you're doing. When you go on autopilot, a blue ring glows. And the display, it's really good quality, it's very sharp and it's very accurate. At night at the right angle, it almost looks like a hovering display as well. All in all, I really enjoyed using this display. It was so easy to install, and if you are looking for a speedo, it's definitely one you should consider. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.